Okay, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday. It is a nice warm Wednesday here in Washington, D.C. Believe it or not, I've been walking around in my tank top. It's been very exciting in the middle of January. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm a full-time musician here in Washington, D.C. I've just recently written my first book. I'm about to write my second book. You can learn all about that on my website, emma.gmusic.com. But the great thing about writing a book and writing music and writing, being a creative is that, my mission is to change the world one song at a time and one heart, mind, and student at a time. And I get to hang out with awesome people like my guest today, Erika Flint, who is also making a difference, changing the world and being a badass while she does it, all the way from the West Coast. How are you, Erika?
So awesome to be here, Emma. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm here in Bellingham, Washington. It is a beautiful day, but we did just finish 2 full weeks of rain, so it's really nice to have the sun. I'm glad that you're in your tank top. That's awesome. I don't think I'll be pulling off a tank top today. I'll still go out in a long jacket, but it's nice to see the sun.
I mean, I'm not normal. Let's be real. So there is that.
Well, thank goodness. I'm so glad for your weirdness. I have to say, let's just celebrate how awesome you are, Emma.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I remember when I was first writing my biography for my music stuff, and there's a line there that's like, waving her freak flag proudly. And I will vehemently stand by that in every way, shape, and form, because I fucking hate how people have this idea that in order to be successful, or in order to make a difference, or in order to whatever, you need to fit these paradigms of normalcy. And I'm like, nope, not today, Satan.
Oh man, that's good.
I'm all about being a freak and being proud of it. So anyways, enough about me. How are you? Who are you? Tell me about yourself.
Yeah. So Erika Flint, I spent, almost 14 years in corporate America building software in Silicon Valley when I found myself just really unsatisfied. I think a lot of us get to that place where we follow a path that might have been laid out in front of us for us. And then we're like, what am I doing here? So I remember sitting there in my office and looking outside. I'm like, if I don't make a change, I'm going to be here for another 20 years. This is going to be my view. And everything was good, but it wasn't great, right? So that's what led me to become a hypnotist. So I'm a professional hypnotist. I'm a hypnotherapy instructor. I am an author. I'm working on my 4th book right now. So I help heart-centered people learn the skills of hypnosis in order to create a new thriving hypnotherapy practice. That's one of the things I love to do. And with the new book coming out, I'm taking people out of the office basically, and we're doing hypnosis, real-time hypnosis with music and dance, in the real world. So change is happening as we're living our lives. You're not going to have to go into an office somewhere. So that's the intention.
That's awesome. Can you tell me about, you said heart-centered people. What does that mean?
People who are compassionate, folks who really are looking for the greater good, the bigger picture, something that is good for everybody. And folks that in hypnosis, I'm looking for folks that really are in it because they want to help and serve people. That's really what it's all about. It's not about, the money that you might make, or, showing up on YouTube or the television or anything like that. It really is about being in service and wanting to help people. And that's where a lot of my students come in too. They also come from corporate America. They come from careers and jobs, and they come from the medical community, and they've been doing good work, but they want more. They want something that feels heart-centered. They see kind of problems in maybe institutions that they work in, and they want to make a bigger difference. They can see where their services can be helpful, but in the institutions they're in, it's not quite as effective. So they become hypnotists, and then they start private practices.
I love that. And I think you sort of, for me at least, kind of you hit on something that I really want to know more about, because, as a creative, or as people who are heart-centered and want to serve the world, there seems to be this, breakdown or in communication or understanding around, or disconnect maybe is the word I'm trying to look for, of wanting to make a difference and also feeling guilty about making money or profiting from making a difference. Like, having been a full-time musician for so long, the concept of like being a starving musician is kind of like the driving force behind being an artist, right? And so when it comes to saving the world or making the world a better place or serving the community, I think a lot of people also think, you need to be a broke ass like Mother Teresa, the perceived Mother Teresa. Right. I should say.
I'm glad you said that. let's just Mother Teresa, what was it, $10 million or something, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So how do you like sort of break down those barriers or those misconceptions with the clients you work with, and for yourself even?
I honor him. Number one, thank you. Thank you for wanting to save the world. Thank you for not wanting money. You're right. The money that you get in exchange for that cannot compare with the relief that you are offering your clients. You're absolutely right. It's not really, so I honor it. Their feeling, right? Because it's true, right? It's true. But the reality is we also live. So that's kind of the spiritual side of things. Like, we're human beings, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So that's kind of like the spiritual side of it. And the human side of it is we live in a three-dimensional space with time and space that have limits and rules, and we have money that helps the world go around. And so in order to be effective as far as professionally and have a sustainable career, you really do need to have income that's flowing in. And so, it's just, there are a lot of bleeding hearts out there, right? There's a lot of people, they just want to help and they don't want the money to be a part of it, but you really can't make, as big of a difference. It's easier to make a bigger difference if you have more money. You can make the videos, you can write a book, you can, like, all of the things that you might want to do is a lot easier when you have the resources to invest in your own business, right?
Yeah, and touch more lives and save more lives. And yep, I feel you, and I thank you. That clarifies a lot, I think, for a lot of people. So when it comes to the work you do around hypnotherapy and there's a big component of music production in that. And I think, actually, before I even ask this question, there's a lot of misconception about what hypnotherapy is and the work behind hypnotherapy. Can you tell me more about that and how that has the reason I say this is because I think a lot of people get confused between hypnotherapy, NLP, and like dark magic. So like, trying to manipulate people to eat onions as if they're apples, or trying to, like, I don't know, convince somebody to love you.
I think some people might be interested in dark magic if they could use hypnosis to do it.
Right.
I don't know how that works. Hypnosis is a normal and natural state of mind. We go into states of hypnosis all the time. So anytime that you found yourself really captivated. So Emma, when you're playing music, and I'm sure, this happens to artists, like we're playing or we're drawing or whatever, and we're not in it, right? And it feels hard, and it's just like, I don't want to do this, and writer's block, whatever it is, right? That's blocking us. But we get into a state where we're in flow, right? And everything is easy, and the lyrics are coming to us, and the chords, and like the harmony, like everything is so, we don't feel like we're doing anything. And so that's the state that we want to be in. And we can get in that state hypnotically. So that's what hypnosis is, a normal and natural state of mind, where we kind of get into that state of flow, where we are able to depotentiate our left hemisphere. So we're able to get rid of the part of our mind that is judging, the part of our mind that is the negative self-talk, the part of our mind that's always trying to kind of keep us safe. Like, we get rid of that part, that critical factor, that part that's constantly talking to us, which gives us the freedom, gives us the space in our minds to understand, and the clarity to understand what's really going on in our subconscious.
I love that. And thank you for talking about how, because you're completely right. Whenever I'm performing, whenever I'm songwriting, whenever I'm in flow, in alignment is what I say. My partners always laugh at me like, you're always in alignment. I'm like, I'm constantly hypnotizing myself. Trying to.
Right. So I would say if there is a goal for the future or something, like, my goal is for me to always be in state, because I show up and do my best work. So my focus is always like, where's my state of being? Where's my state of mind? How am I feeling? I feel like that's 100% of my work. Once that's correct, everything else is easier.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. Okay, so how have you moved your practice and production over, I don't know, how have you pivoted to a safer environment, or safety, meaning physically safe, during this pandemic?
Well, we have a physical facility here in Bellingham. It's a
Mm-hmm.
4,000 square foot facility where we do see clients. We did see clients in person. So the first thing that we did was we just started really focusing on seeing clients remotely online through Zoom. And we had been doing that for years. So as far as a real pivot, I feel like our pivot was maybe not quite as dramatic, let's put
Right.
it that way, because we were already seeing clients online. I just kind of shut the hypnosis center down, right? So now all of our hypnotists are seeing people remotely through Zoom. The change that I did make, though, which you brought up, I've been making more music. So I've been producing music for my hypnosis side of the business, more relaxing style music, kind of atmospheric, relaxing, kind of music without any beats. And then I would
Mm-hmm.
put my voice over the top. So it's a hypnotic recording. I've been doing that for years. And this year, with the additional kind of time and all of us at home, right?
What?
Yeah. I picked it back up again, and it's just
Right.
been so fun. So I think I've made 11 songs, released onto SoundCloud,
Okay.
um, since the pandemic, and some of them are entrainment music. So some of it is designed to help you really focus while you study. Some of it
Mm-hmm.
is designed to help you relax. And then I'd say about half of it is the other side of it, which for me is it's dance music, right? So it's getting
Right.
into the rhythm and it's allowing your body to be free as you are dancing, which gives you insight to some of the other things
Mm-hmm.
that you might be working on. So all of the music really is tying into the latest work that I'm doing. So my fourth book is coming out soon, Academy of Eternity. And Academy of Eternity, how to live in present state all the time. Well, we have music, we have dance, we have community, we have lots of things that all humans really love on earth. How do we
Mm.
utilize all of those things to really live in a state of bliss all of the time with hypnosis, brain entrainment, and other techniques? So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I think, and the timing of what you're doing is so, ideal, because for me personally, I, you know, have been living in the States for almost 6 years now, and got so swept up in the go, go, go of DC living, for example, that we forget about our spiritual health, our mental health. And I think that marriage of, dance, music, just centeredness and, inward thinking, inward focus, has been like my biggest aha moment during the pandemic. How like how was that process for you? Like during these unprecedented times, I fucking hate that word. Sorry. I'm cringing on the inside. During these times, like, have you found that things have your work has had more of an impact because people are like, oh shit, now's an opportunity to actually reconnect with my inner child, reconnect with my inner dance, reconnect with my inner like God or goddess, reconnect with actual God, like how how's that experience been for you?
Yeah, a lot of people are, there's a lot of things happening. For some people, they are stuck at home and it's kind of bringing to a head some of the stress that's already there, right? They're
Yeah.
kind of having issues with, and so, a lot of folks, oh man, I really need to stop drinking. I really need to eat better, right? So there's kind of the behavioral things that are kind of common, but there's plenty of folks, I'm glad you're bringing this up, who are now inspired.
Yeah.
And they're inspired because it's like all of the things that are happening. It's like we can sit back and talk about it, complain about it, be a victim. We can, or we can all feel like we take some action, which just to be clear, I think each of us we can do what we want. Not everybody needs to think they are going to save the world. Not everybody needs
Of
to
course.
have those things at all. And so I really do believe that our best use of time is to make sure we're in a really good alignment, because when
Mm.
we're in alignment and we bring up divinity, God shows up. We don't really kind of have to do anything. God, source, whatever you want to call it, right? So I do think that for me, like the idea of kind of needing to do things has gone, which is nice. I feel a real sense now of an inspiration to complete things that are useful for people.
Yeah.
So for me, like the pandemic has been, I did have more free time to work on my music. And I think that's what really served me, because I had enough blocks of chunks of big time to really get through some of the difficult I'm new, right? I mean, I don't really have any experience. I'm just kind of stumbling through making this music. So
Right.
learning and spending time, like, how do you become a better cyclist? Well, it's time in the saddle is what they say. How do
Yeah.
you become a better music producer? I spent 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day for weeks, in between other things, on music. That's how I got better. Right. So it's
Yeah.
really, how do we do it? We do it. We show up, we take some action. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. The 10,000 hour rule is real. I love that. Cool. So my next question is, if you could, like, this is a random sideways leap that I'm taking here. If you could give your 5-year younger self advice, given what you know now, given what you're doing now, given, how you're showing up, what would you say?
This is such a good question, because there is a million things, but I think what I would really say to myself is, I really do love music. I wish I would have committed to it earlier. I really do. And if I would have committed to my music career 5 years ago, I probably things would be different. And so I'm really committing to it now. It's just, I love music so much. I've always loved music, and I got out of it when I was younger for a silly reason, really. It just kind of didn't work in my calendar anymore, right? To continue taking piano lessons. And then it's just like,
Okay.
and that thing where it's like, you don't feel like you're good enough to be a professional. So I don't even want to call myself a producer, because like, that seems like it must be a serious thing. Like somebody must have to give me that title. I can't call myself I produce music, but I uploaded it myself to SoundCloud. So, and so there's like this weird thing happening in there,
How do you, relatable. It was like halfway through recording my second album that I turned to my producer. I was like, I don't know how it came up, but he's like, you do realize you're co-producing this, right? Like, you could literally say that you're the co-producer here. I was like, wait, what? Like, because, we do, it's almost like, I don't know if it's a humanity thing, or if it's a female thing, or if it's just, I don't know, a creative industries thing, but we almost feel like we have to wait for permission in order to step into our full selves. Yeah. I think, and that's a great reminder that, who you are is beyond what society places on us. Because if I was who society placed on me, I'd be an angry Black woman, right? Or I'd be, I don't know, where I mean, I'm still, instead of angry, I'm just aggressive with my positivity.
Okay, yeah, so it got polished up a little bit. Okay. Hey,
no, I got accused recently of being aggressively positive. I'm like, you know what? I ain't even mad. Like,
thank you. I'll take it. Where's the t-shirt? Aggressively positive.
Right. So, I mean, that's fascinating to me that not everybody else has the same thing, that you have to like own that fact that you are a producer. So, like, who was it? I think it was Chance the Rapper. Fun fact about SoundCloud. Chance the Rapper managed a way to figure out how to get Grammy nominated and win a Grammy simply by using SoundCloud as his platform. Wow. So all of this like internal messaging that you're not a producer or that you don't make music professionally, I want you to just like tuck that into your back pocket and then like throw it out next time you walk past a trash can. Okay.
I think that's already been done. Thank you. But it is interesting that it shows up, right?
Yeah.
And so those kind of questions pop in your head, and we don't, how do you help people, right? You do things, right? Don't really worry about labels or things like that. But it comes up when people ask, like, oh, okay, what am I calling myself these days? I don't remember.
I almost want to update my business cards, be like, Emma G Music, doer of all things. Or doer of most things, Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so one of my mentors a couple of years ago introduced me to the concept of a wig, which is a wildly improbable goal or a wildly important goal. which I really love, because I think we have this tendency to, similar to what you're saying before about like underselling what you do and who you are, we kind of undersell and undervalue who we're becoming or what we want to be doing, right? What is your wig for 5 years time?
All right. Well, I would change it. I would say it's definitely a dream of mine. And the reason I would call it a dream instead of a goal always seems, I don't know, I'm changing language now. I'm getting rid of words in my language. Like I'm getting rid of words like need to, have to, should. And goal, I'm kind of, for me, goal feels a little anxious. So I would call it a dream, because it is a dream of mine. And my dream really would be that everybody on the earth, everybody living knows that they are God, knows that they can connect to their own divinity. So we could call it whatever name we want, God, source, eternal life, whatever it is. But there's enough people on the planet right now that know and recognize that we can tap in and get in alignment. And when you do get in alignment, things flow, things are different, right? So that is my dream, is that everybody knows how to do it. I think it will change the world. So it really is recognizing their own inner light, their own divinity. That's what I want.
Awesome. Can I jump on that bandwagon?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Another thing that I've discovered over the last year of the pandemic is that I've started attending church on a regular basis. And one of the things that this is like completely out of left field for me. You're talking to somebody whose, family is very disconnected spiritually, from Muslim through to Jehovah's Witness. Super, super, diverse. But one of the things that I have been really resonating with recently has been that very same point, is that we are all images of God and God is perfect. So why do we constantly get down on ourselves for not recognizing that about ourselves, right?
Yes, just stay there. Just stay in the place where you can recognize your own brilliance in the folks around you, and things start to happen.
Yeah.
And that's the work for me now. I'm constantly asking myself if I'm in the right state of mind. And no matter how much I practice, and I'm a professional hypnotist, I've been doing this work for years. I still get off track every day. So that to me is the work, and it's fun. It's fun for me to notice what my brain is doing and make sure that I'm getting better, like staying calm, staying focused, all of the things that, and staying in that state, right? When I'm in that state, the music comes, it writes itself, the book writes itself, clients help themselves, my business runs itself. And I'm showing up inspired, right? I'm showing up, but everything's inspired now. It's fun. It's exciting. So it's a completely different way of being. Takes practice,
I love it. Practice makes habit, I think, which is, and with that.
Right. So what the idea is to stabilize that state. For a lot of folks, they've been living in a state, some level of anxiety for years, maybe decades of their life. And so, as a professional hypnotist, what I like to say is, like, you've been practicing anxiety. Your brain has been running the program of anxiety for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So everything in your brain has been organized to function as an anxious brain, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so once we start helping people to relax, and with hypnosis or embodied techniques or entrainment, whatever it is, now their brain is being organized for focus and relaxation, and so their experience is completely different. But that really is the work. Like, what am I in alignment? What's going on? When I'm like that, I have hardly any self-talk, and it's just very peaceful and happy.
Excellent. I'm so happy about that. You're amazing. Okay, last question, kind of. What is your one wish for America, and how do you plan to do your part to fulfill that wish? Given that, I recognize that question is a little bit topsy-turvy, given how fucked up the last couple of weeks have been, but over to you.
Okay. What is my one wish for America? Well, I'm gonna, I do have a lot of wishes, but I'll make it personal for me. Because of music and dance, I really do think that music can get us into alignment almost faster than anything else. So my wish for America, let's all dance more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing a book
Amen.
called Academy of Eternity, to release that and creating programs around that. So music, dance, hypnotic, and change work are all happening together at the same time. And so people are getting the relief they need just in their course of everyday life, listening to music and in community. So that would be my wish. I think, music is so powerful. It can take us right into an optimal state, whatever that state may be.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people already recognize this. I would like the rest of America to literally but metaphorically dance more in your life.
I support that, and in fact, I do that all the time. Not just inside my apartment, but outside my apartment. People give me crazy looks, and I'm like, "This is me waving my freak flag proudly."
I walk down the street. I don't really walk unless I'm in a hurry. I go for walks on the weekend, and I will dance walk for 4 or 5 miles. And yeah, I get lots of looks and lots of smiles. I used to actually count the winks to frowns, people smiling and people like, what is she doing? And people smiling, and it's almost all smiles now. So that's
amazing. That's amazing. We need that. We need that now more than ever. Awesome. Thank you so much, Erika. You're a badass. I love you. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend the last half hour with me, spreading your magic and sharing your message with the world. How can people get hold of you?
You can find me at cascadehypnosistraining.com. You can also friend me on Facebook. Yeah, this is a great way. I love having more friends. So if you just reach out on Facebook or there.
Cool. Awesome. And of course, there'll be information on her upcoming book and her previous 3 books on her website. And of course, you can always keep in touch with me, emma@jeepmusic.com, where I'm working on my second book as well. And, who knows? Maybe you can join our mission to save the world, one song, one dance move, one crazy action of radical positivity and aggressive love at a time.
Let's do it. I'm in.
Cool. Be good, be kind, spread love like it's going out of fashion. Be your own kind of superhero, and don't forget to wear sunscreen on a daily basis. Just because it's winter doesn't mean the sun won't still attack you. Okay. Be good.